Welcome to Dan ARG YouTube. Emmanuel Agbogun dey show us Benin Moat close to Oba Palace. Enjoy the video.
Yes. Good morning to you all, my conscious Edo people. I remain no other person than yours noble right activist, comrade I Bogu Emmanuel. And this very morning, to make our discussions very physical and backed with facts, we are standing at the historical Benin Moat, somewhere around the Oba environs, very close to our Rebel Monarch's palace. Now, if you look at the style, the way and manner in which we, leave our ancestral artifacts as it relates to land, as it relates to our history, what we are known for, what defense, what energy, that we had, in those days, what our innovation was. And till date, we only hear about trying to restore the channels of Benin Moat, trying to restore the channels of our Benin history. Before, our former Commissioner for Arts and Culture talked about our historical center somewhere within the Obia axis, where you know where our warriors sat down to fight some certain wars and lived there for a couple of days. Now, when we talk about the current challenges we are seeing today, it is not just because it is something that has to do with that alone. Our way of doing things is not best seen as a global practice. If this were to be somewhere in China, this wouldn't be looking like this. If it were to be somewhere in Great Britain, it won't be looking like this. If it were to be somewhere in Germany, in Portugal, in Asia, it won't be looking this way. As historical as our history is on the world map, we are still not annexing this venture, this wealth that our ancestors have left behind for us. But we are only cautious about things that attract immediate benefits. And for some of us, we want to look at it at the perspective that not until when we begin to get a reorientation. For crying out loud, today our Benin communal lands are being sold. People sell as much as a mile against another mile. People sell a full community. People even close down community settlements, all because they want to succeed land to developers, so they call them. But we are not even transmitting that money from the chain of the communities to the traditional system to enhance our culture, to enhance our history, to make things orderly. If this is how a Benin Moat that ought to attract tourists, that ought to attract social recreational life, go to River State, see people they are trying to annex what they have, what they can bring in people to come and feel. But here in Edo State, we are not annexing. We only wait for the benefits that want to come before we begin to talk. If a Benin Moat is in this shape, for crying out loud, what are we really doing about our future? Because for me, I have heard very many things about the artifacts, federal government this, federal government that. There's no way the federal government can be more Nigerian and more Benin than Beninese. There's no way the entire country will pick on a particular tribe and say our heritage, what was looted from us as a people, now belongs to everybody. It is not done. It is unethical. It is not something that some of us will believe is justifiable, because we all know that the rights to our customs, our norms, our values is our heritage. A typical Nupe man or a Gwari man will not come to this place to say he's pained that it's looking this way. it is a Benin man that will say the way our things are being done, it is not so. An Isoko man will not come here to tell us that we are not annexing what we have. So the high time we rebrand this reorientation. It wouldn't help us as a people, because if we allow our history, our heritage, there's no other tradition that protected us, during the invasion than the Benin Moat. In fact, it took the world power, the British then, to come in with the best and most sophisticated weapons that were in existence to invade us as a people. And what that showed that, it was a heckling tax. If it were to be today, obviously we know that we are not as physical in terms of defense as them. But this one where we once had, why are we not annexing it? Why are we not investing in it? Now we are only bothered as a people because something is coming back. Yes, we know that there have been a change for this demand. But when it is just a particular thing that has been, annexed and explored by foreigners, we are now making, when our own is like this. People sold all the lands from here up to Vuvioba, up to Ego, up to Obazua, all the lands here, and this is our heritage. Why is it that we are not investing in ourselves? Why is it that we are not investing in those common things that would ordinarily be there as a source of employment, as a source of revenue, as a source of funding to our ethnic divide? Today, many people are of this our ethnic divide that is so traditionally rich is asylum seekers across the world. When I mean asylum seekers, there are people who are seen as refugees, who are wanting to reside in another man's country because they feel that their place of abode is no longer comfortable for them. So my conscious Edo people, we want to see a difference. We want to see a difference. We don't want this Benin anymore where an Enoge will sit down and sell 1,000 mile by 1,000 mile, 4 mile by 4 mile, sorry, and there's no single impact to our tradition. There's no single impact to our immediate community. Even where that money is being sold, they will not build hospitals, they will not build schools, they will not do road, they will not even harness the intellectual potentials of their people by ensuring that they sponsor them on scholarships abroad to school in a better system and come back home to contribute. But what we see is that anybody who says this land is either converting it to his own private use. Today, a man will be in a community is more richer than the entire community that he has managed their affairs. So if this imbalance is not promptly looked into, we'll be having a problem for a longer time. And by the time we must have annexed this and there's nothing left, don't you think that generation will find it very difficult to coexist? Because by the time we must have looked at it, nearly all our lands must have been sold to foreigners, to people who come in as investors, and we cannot drive them when they have claimed right of ownership. So if we are not annexing this, it's a problem. The other day, some of us said that if as at today, Edo State government has, sourced for a credit facility of about 70 billion naira. 70 billion naira from the central bank in Nigeria that wants to take our artifacts, that wants to annex our artifact as their property, as they have said we are in a sovereign state and they are in charge. And so many of our learned people have also aligned with them, saying that it is their duty as at that international level, because we are an entity, an ethnic divide inside the sovereign state called Nigeria. So that being as it may, people who are of this our own traditional divide, who are learned, who are people that are well to do, who are people that are well read in fields that they practice, call it will I call it professional or call it practical, they should be seen to be discussing to chart the Benin way forward. We are getting 70 billion naira from Nigeria in an Edo state where the proposed site for agro investment monies for what's it called, oil palm oil, 70 billion naira has come into the state. One single Edo indigene is not, Benin indigene is not saying that, oh, what are we doing in these our communities that have this vast land to ensure that we harness that money to accommodate our youth to be employed. We are only waiting for people to come from Malaysia as investors, sign MOUs with us, for people to come in from foreign countries, when we have local farmers that can be put together to harness a large expanse of oil palm that can be giving us monies every year. Even if it means paying back to the government that borrowed, we can still do that and still have so much profit afterwards. Why are we not looking into this inside? But we are only after the little stipends that we want to come. So not until when, as a people, we decide to harness our own, we decide to make our own, nobody will come and do it for us. If we are waiting that Malaysia will come here and come and develop our place to the extent in which our place will continue to flourish as a developed state, we are telling ourselves a gospel lie. So my conscious Edo people, I think this is the much we're going to take. I came here this morning to let you know that we are currently, not seeing what cultural heritage or tourism investment ought to be. There's no way you can talk about the artifact and you cannot talk about the Benin Moat. There's no way you can talk about the Benin Moat that you can also talk about the artifacts. So these are our cultural heritage. Why are we not these people lived here for thousands of years to dig this thing with their bare hands. And ordinarily, if we as a people cannot promote this, cannot harness this to better ourselves, we are only waiting for what they have already annexed and made so much money out of. We are only waiting for the minor profit that will come from it. For crying out loud, these countries that want to pay some amount of stipends that everybody is putting interest on, have you asked yourself how much have they made out of these things? How much have they made out of these things themselves, that we are fighting ourselves over the minimal monies that will come? And look at what we are not even what is right behind us, what we see every day, we are not even harnessing it. It is now a dump site for refugees. It's not a dump site for refugees. And when we talk, they say we are fighting a cause that is our own, but we are going about it the wrong way. When we don't talk, they say we are respectful. So I don't think that is a balance. So my conscious Edo people, we got enough work to do today for C of O's, and we'll soon be moving to Edo GIS. But I want to speak just for 2 minutes for those people. I've also heard controversial issues about C of O. C of O is good for everybody to have, but the particular thing about it, that when you acquire C of O, you shouldn't be acquiring C of O for a property you are not making profit out of it. You shouldn't just acquire C of O and say, because I have money, you put inside your house. C of O are meant for people that want to advance or annex their properties into looking for securities, into looking for sourcing for security, like financial security to finance a business, or you talk about to get a collateral borrowing from either a bank, or to use as a sort of collateral in terms of transactions. You can tell somebody, this my house is being valued at 30 million and I want to pay for this, but sell this item for me. In 2 months time I pay you, I retrieve my documents back. It is only when you have the C of O that such transaction is made very, 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 very valuable, because C of O today in Nigeria is a value. There's nothing that is not valuable. But when you have C of O and you just have it and put in the document in your house because you just want to protect it for your children unborn, do not forget there is a cost that is attached to that C of O that you pay government yearly, because government knows that certificate they are giving to you can be used as security. They know that document is what identifies them, attesting to the fact as a government that you, who has that document at hand, is the rightful owner of that property, and their suretyship and their certification is valid for you for 99 years. If it's for private use, if it's for agro-allied use, it's valid for you for, I think, 22 to 30 years, and so on and so forth. So there are very, very many things you can do. The advantages, if one is investing in a like I have a client who has bought a very large expanse of land. Two of them, they are actually trying to harness agro oil palm business in Edo State here, and in fact they are processing their CFO. And the reason why they are doing that is that they can get security, so that even if they are going to meet Edo State government at the end of the day to secure facilities from what they have harnessed for Edo people, because they are indigenous of this state, they would also be showing proof that the lands that they have acquired from our communities rightfully belongs to them. And for you to get that proof from government, you must come with very, very many documents that are the same documents you have for the properties you own. So it is just government showing their presence in your value and giving you a sense of security to trade with, to do investment with, or to harness your potential. I have a CFO for my property. If I'm looking for 4 million naira today now to secure a business, my property is valued at over 20 million. I will approach a bank and tell the bank, I have a property valued at 20 million. I need a security of 4 million from you, and it is payable within this period of time. The bank will look on that I have a CFO, they will go and see the property, and immediately they will value it, and if it's what they think they can transact with me on, they will approve my money for me. But if I don't have this document, they tell me to go and look for CFO, I say, I want to see him. So our government give us the opportunity, so we should not just look down on it. We should annex it, but annexing it must be when you have the need for it. I always tell some of my clients, if people are not disturbing your property that you have built on, your house that you own, you don't need to stress yourself. But if you know that you want to use that property to secure security, go ahead and do it. At times, only God knows what can happen. You would find yourself in a situation whereby you are looking for someone to bail you out of that situation. Nobody knows what kind of crime we commit. But some government might say, okay, you must have someone who has a CFO and live within that jurisdiction that you live in as a means for your bail. So if you are not able to meet up with that, you will still go and spend some time in the prison. But if you have a CFO, you have a friend that has, is to call him and he will do the needful, and you have gained your freedom. So these are certain things our people must understand. So having said this much, the discussion of CFO is as long as it is. I got myself involved because I know of the values, and I try to ensure that I procure it for my clients so that they can also understand what they are using it for. I have very many clients, and all of them, I try to orientate them on what they need to know about CFO. It's not just a document you just have and keep. You must begin to harness it, think of what you can do with it, because the value of it lasts for 99 years. So that's the much we can discuss this morning. We have a lot to do. So I want to thank you viewers who are out there. But if you are out there with us and you have not shared our broadcast, we also want to share it with you. Please ensure you place your hands on the share button. It's my own way of communicating and transmitting what I believe is necessary to everybody on the platform. So if you have not done that for us this morning, you will not be doing us much good. So please, if you have not shared this broadcast, please, if you have not shared this broadcast, go there now and share. If you have not shared this broadcast, go there now and share. I've just shared mine. So if you have not shared yours, please go out there and share. Do not forget.
Abeg, help us share this video. If you get anything to talk concerning wetin your eye see for this video, you fit put your own for comment section. If you never subscribe to Dan ARG YouTube, try make you subscribe so that make you for dey hear all the things wey dey happen for Nigeria. Make I leave you with this video, make you help us share am. Thank you for watching Dan ARG YouTube.